and welcome to the John Mayaki Show on Bloomshare TV. I am Imi Salami. Our guest today is a woman of many parts. She's a wife, a mother, a pastor, and a philanthropist. She is Dr. Mrs. Mary Alile. Thank you so much, Ma, for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. People go into different fields for different reasons. Some it could be for monetary gains, for faith. Sometimes it's just your passion, what you love to do. So your journey into becoming a philanthropist, how did it start for you? What influenced and motivated you?
Okay, I think this journey started a very long time ago. I grew up in a moderate family, you will say. We're just 3 girls and a very small family, and I grew up in Benin City, and I saw the need that was in this city then. When I talk about the needs of women struggling to raise their children, the needs of women have to, they have to go to the market, they have to cook, they have to do all these things, and at the same time, it was a very big struggle. And I just thought of the fact that there's no help anywhere for these women, and it was something that was so painful to me, especially when I saw what my mom went through in this city, and I thought, no, there must be something somebody can do. I want to remember in those days where school fees, for example, if I just take a very brief example, where school fees was 60 naira in the year, I think probably in the 80s, school fees was 60 naira, and that was public school, and it was so difficult to get this 60 naira. You have to go to uncles, aunties, relatives just to raise 60 naira. And I could never forget my experience where I went to so many uncles just to get this 60 naira, and every time you were turned back, like, I don't have it, come tomorrow, come next tomorrow. And it took the grace of God, if I should say so, for just one particular uncle, may God rest his soul. I mean, he was the one that gave me that 60 naira, and I could never, ever forget that. And that was how it started. And I was thinking, so which means there are other children out there, there are other families out there going through the same thing. So that was something that I registered in my heart, and I promised myself that if I could just help one child, I will do that. And that was how my journey started. And so that was how I started Sister to Sister, and because I wanted to reach out to women, and I wanted to reach out to the girl child. So it was just a passion that I have, because if you look at what the girl child have to pass through in Africa, it's something that you could write a bestseller. I mean, a book that will sell for, I don't know, a bestseller book, just the struggle of the girl child. So, and I was so passionate about that. So that's how I started, actually, and it's been a journey of over 12 years. Wow. It's been a very interesting one, a very fulfilling one, I must say. I've got Sister to Sister in about 8 different countries. Wow, so we've got in, and also, of course, 3 countries in Africa, and then we've got in Europe. So we try to touch lives, and we try to reach out to one person. So when we say Sister to Sister, we strengthen the woman, we'll encourage the woman, we support the woman, we inspire the woman, and we inspire her to inspire others. That's what Sister to Sister is all about, and that's how we started. But in Nigeria, I think this year will be 6 years in Nigeria, and we've done so many projects, and the majority of our project, yes, it's about the woman and about the girl child. Yeah.
So it's all for the woman, by the woman, for the
woman. Exactly. So my thing is just to support that girl child. We did a project which was which I titled the Rural Girl Child. Forget about the girl, the girl that is in the city. We want to look at. I heard some stories about a girl child that had to go home out of exam because she was on her period, and I cried. I was like, so did you tell me she missed WAEC because she had? It was terrible. I wasn't myself for weeks. And I was thinking, so which means she has to wait for another whole year to write the exam because there was no provision in her school. She was not able to take care of herself and the whole things, and it was devastating. So I had to do that project, and we had to go to different schools in the villages, distributing sanitary towels, writing materials, things like that, encouraging them, making sure that they stay in school, telling them about education and things like that. I love education, and I just wish that every child, every girl child, have the opportunity to go to school.
You mentioned you had to go share sanitary pads and all of that. There's this call that if condoms can be made free, so why can't the government do the same thing with sanitary pads?
I hear you, because even there was another project which we did, give the get child a sanitary towel or something. Because if we can easily just throw condoms out there, why can't we easily just throw sanitary towels? And again, if you are in the city, it's easier for you. You can easily just probably get to one place and get something. But if you think of that child in the village, think of that typical rural village setting, and you're looking at this child that probably is just starting off, and then they don't have this facility. They need to walk miles to get to school, and then that starts in school, and then they have to walk miles back. It's something that it's a story that is so sad that in the 21st century we are still in this matter, and it's really so painful that I feel that every person, every human being should be able to do something about the girl child.
I think this, because it is of utmost interest to me. I think some other time we'll go deeper into this and see how to, get help, get support, so that these things can be easily available.
And we need to also educate. Part of the things we do is advocacy. We educate the girl child. Don't be ashamed to talk about it. This is nature. It's natural. You need help, speak out, shout out, tell them this is what I'm going through. Talk to a teacher. We are now in the 21st century where everything goes. You are able to talk about how you're feeling. You are able to talk about what you're going through. You are able to, like that girl child that just went home. She could have talked to a teacher, maybe, instead of having to wait another year for WAEC, she could have, talked to somebody and things like that. But, in those days, all these things are shishish. You don't talk about that. This is a shishish matter. There's no shishish matter anymore. Talk about anything. As long as you're able to get the help you want, shout out from the top of your voice, and somebody will be there to help you.
Yeah. Thanks so much, ma'am. Then I remember there was an event, and then it was, I think, organized for your husband or something. So, and then there was so much goodwill from members of your party towards you. They spoke so well about you. So I was like, okay, she's not just the wife of Honorable Alile. That means she's actively involved in politics.
Yes.
So how did politics begin for you? Is it because your husband is a politician, so you just decided to go with it, or it's something that has been part of you and it just happened that your husband is in politics and you just...
That's a very interesting question. I grew up in a political home.
Oh, wow.
My dad was in politics in the era of was UPN, NPN. That was a long time ago. Yeah. So in those era, and I remember all these political fights. Should I call them political fights? Because my mom was in another party, my father was in another party, and there was like no, we're the one winning. No, things like that. So I grew up around that, and I was like, no, this is not. I didn't like politics then. I was just oh gosh, I don't think I can. But as time, as the year flew by and things like that, and I began to see that you really need to be involved if you want to make change. Yes. Because it's just not sitting in the comfort of your bedroom and thinking everything is going to happen. You need to be physically involved. You need to be actively involved. You need to make sure that people even do a propaganda for all the people to be involved. And of course, everyone knows that my husband is a very, very good politician. And if you are around him, you just get smitten. After 10 words, 9 of them is about politics. So you just hear it, you keep hearing it, and and after a while, you're just smitten. and you just join the whole moving train and things like that. And because of the fact that I have passion for women, I really wanted to make sure that women were carried along, because when I joined politics, I quickly discovered that there was a place for women in politics, and that is a lot of women struggle just to come out of that place. And I also did my homework and discovered that a lot of women, they tend to they love to support, they love to be part of what is going on. If you just make them to feel belong, they will love to be part of what you're doing. And so that's how I joined politics, and that is how even through my work, my NGO work, I encourage women. Are you a politician? Oh, no, politics is a dirty game. I'm like, no, politics is where you change the world. So you need to be able to reach the people that will write the laws and change the world. So you can do that in the kitchen, you can do that anywhere else. You need to be actively involved, making sure your voice is heard, and making sure that you vote, making sure that you have your PVC, making sure you're just there to cast your vote and to make sure that your voice is loud and clear. So that's how I entered politics, and with that, because of my NGO work, a lot of people already know me and they know what I do, and I just combined both together really, and then we just fly the two flag: political flag, NGO flag, philanthropy flag. So we're flagging everything, as long as we get women out of the wherever they are to the front line.
Yes, when we look at women in this part of the world, it's not like the way we have it in other climes. Women are big-time political players in other climes. We have female presidents. We have,
definitely.
Yes, prime ministers who are women, UK, Germany. Even the current vice president of the United States is a woman, Kamala Harris. So how can women here, how can they move from being wives of politicians, like we have the wife of the president, and wife of governors, and wife of senators, and all of that? How can they move from that to becoming big-time political players like their counterparts in other climes?
I think it was in 1931, that was about 100 years ago, when the law was passed in Parliament in the UK that women were allowed to vote. That was 100 years ago. Now, if we fast forward to the 21st century, how far have we come? In Africa, let me generalize, we're still coming up, but in the other countries, like you mentioned, the Western world, they've done so much. They've done so well. But what you must understand is that the man plays a very important role in getting the women from the backstage to the front stage. So if you want to leave the work for the women alone to do, that will take perhaps it might take another 100 years. Because if the men don't consciously, and I would use the word consciously, give women a chance, consciously give them a chance, it will take forever for that woman to get to where the men are at the moment. Now, the reason why I used that example of United Kingdom was that the day the law was passed in Parliament, it was a parliament of all men. So which means those men, they consciously said, okay, let's give them a chance. They've been waiting at the corridor for such a long time.
Maybe they were influenced.
I don't know, but the point is, there was not one single woman in that parliament. It was the men that made that decision, and they did it. So we need to get to a place. I mean, I'm happy that Nigeria, we are trying to, when a woman wants to contest for a position, we are giving them 50% discount on the form, getting them to take that form for free and things like that. But that is a good one, but it's still not enough. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about collecting the form, it's about winning as well. So our men needs to be able to do more to support us as women to get us to the limelight. Because if they do that, then we are able to support, there's this, whatever they say, whatever, vote a woman, you elect a nation, I don't know, whatever they say, we are able to support our children, we are able to go back to the home, and everything works out like that. But somebody must give them that chance. And again, like I said, we're getting there, but we're not there yet. I remember a time, there was a scenario in the United Kingdom. I used to work for the National Health System, the NHS in the United Kingdom, and the politicians, they came to the office and they were like, equality and diversity, we need more black women in politics. And of course, if you look around, how many black women do you see in the NHS in those days? And they were like, oh, do you want to be a politician? I'm like, no, I don't want to be a politician. I don't know, no, but he's very good, we'll do that, we'll do that. You know, they actively come to your place of work to recruit you into politics.
Wow.
Because they wanted equality, they wanted that mixed diversity. They don't want to see only the white faces. They wanted African American, they wanted the Asian, they wanted the Chinese. So they were busy going from one office to another. And I got to them and I was telling my husband, I was like, can you just imagine? They came and they said I should come and be a politician. Maybe I should go and be a politician. And you know, do we do such things here? The answer is no. So there are people that might want to be, but they are so scared. Again, they don't even know where to start from. And again, all the red tapes, there's red tapes everywhere. So how do they pass these red tapes? What about the status quo? What about the things that they will think, the stigmatization is also there for a woman in politics. So all those things scare women away and think, no, the culture, there's the culture as well, which is the norm. As a black woman or as an African woman, am I supposed to be playing politics? What is the stigmatization around me being a married woman, a mother, a pastor, oh my God, and a politician? They're like, how does it even flow together? But if we don't come out, then we won't be able to get a chance. So in order for us to get that chance, we need to take a step. And that step needs to be, the men needs to help us to take this step so that we are able to contribute our own vote as well and our own quota.
Yeah. You're talking so much about the men contributing, helping the women and all of that. Are the women even ready to support themselves, to encourage themselves, to push themselves? Okay. Are they ready?
I'm a woman, so if I use myself as an example, I am ready. A lot of women are ready. We are there trying to be ready. Let me use that word. That's a good phrase to use.
How can they come together to create that force? And
I think another thing is that one thing about the woman is that that the men are using against us, or the men are using better. They're taking advantage. Is that the men, they do teamwork. Oh, the women, we really don't know how to do teamwork. And that is something that probably it's not particular to Africa, particular to Nigeria, but I think it's a cultural thing. In abroad, teamwork is the norm. You just have to, even from nursery school, you learn to play as a team. Yeah. So you don't do individual struggle, because what I see with a lot of women is that we do individual struggle. Once you do individual struggle, you are quickly relegated to one side. But if you come together as a team and you fight and you talk as a team, we are a team of 100 women, or I'm just one person. Of course, the 100 women will have more votes and more voice. So if we are able to work as a team, as women, I think we will move quicker and we'll move better. And I think that is where the problem is. If there is a problem, I'll be pointing at that direction. Yes.
That's it for today. Until next time on the John Mayaki Show, I am Imi Salami.